Hey YouTube, MotoMerica here. So today I'll be changing the oil for the first time in my Suzuki GSX-S1000F. The initial break-in period is over. I got 550 miles on it, so it's time to change that oil. And now because this is a fairing bike, it's going to be much more difficult than the simple grab the oil filter kind of thing I had with the FZ07. This one, we have to take all this stuff off to get that oil filter. So this might be a good case for the dealer. I don't know. We'll see. I'm going to try it, and I'll let you know at the end how hard it is if you want to try it yourself or take it to the dealer. I'm going to give it a shot. First thing we got to do is remove the meter panel, they call it. That's this top panel right here. There's 2 bolts and a fastener up top. And after that, I'm going to loosen this fairing, try to get this piece off. I don't want to take the whole fairing off if I don't have to. But if I can get this piece off that covers the filter, the black piece, I hope to just do that, make it simpler. But let's find out. Alright guys, so I started to take the whole fairing off, and it's pretty difficult. There's a lot of fasteners, there's a lot of these like hooks pushed into things that really take a lot of force to bring them out. But I found a way. I loosen the bottom on each side. It moves away enough where I can get in there and get that plug off, drain the oil, and get to the filter. So I'm not taking the whole damn thing off. Corporate decision number 1. Let's just get our hand in there and get this shit taken care of. It'll save a lot of work. Alright, getting busy. Okay, so the oil drain pan plug is a 17 millimeter. I can reach underneath there, undo that, drain the oil, and then I can get to that oil filter. Not easily, but I can do it. So I'm going to drain the oil. And also remember, after you drain your oil, take your oil to a recycled center. Thank you. Alright, so there's the oil draining out. Let that drip a while. And here's the drain plug. It's got a little magnet on the bottom. So make sure that you clean any little metal particles from break-in off of that thing. Give it a good cleaning. Maybe spray it with a little brake cleaner or carburetor cleaner. Then dry it off nice and neat. Clean up the back. We're going to reuse this, of course, with a new crush washer. Alright guys, so I've cleaned off the oil drain plug. I'm going to reinstall it, and it needs to be tightened to 16.5 foot-pounds. If you're in the metric system, please look at your manual for your number or do conversions. Alright, so I got that damn thing out of there. Now we take the oil filter off. Some oil does drop down onto the headers. So after I'm done, I'm going to take the bike outside and then use some simple green and wash it up. But there's the oil filter. Time to put the new filter on. If you try to do it my way without removing the fairings, you will need a short-handled oil filter wrench. This one I got from Lowe's. Time to clean up the hole where the oil filter goes and put the new filter on. Okay, so this is the new filter, the oil filter I got it off Amazon. This is for this bike. It's made by High Flow Filtro, and it's supposed to be some kind of better racing filter. And it has the nut on the back, which will make it handy now because I have to torque this thing down without being able to reach very well into it. So looks like this. See, it has the bolt on the back, or I guess it's a bolt. So you can put a torque wrench on there, and I'll give you the specs. But that's going on there. So here's looking at the bike underneath the radiator. You can see the new oil filter. It's right here. You can touch it, no problem. And there's the bolt to tighten it with. It's also 17 millimeters. The manual calls out for 14.5 foot-pounds of torque on that oil filter. 14.5. If you live somewhere else where it's metric, figure it out. Look in the book. I'm going to tighten it up, clean it off, and put this fairing pieces back together. See, I did have to take this bottom piece out. It just unsnaps. You take this fastener out, and then this unsnaps from that hook, and you can see this hook right here slides into that. That's what the fastener attaches to. You kind of have to yank it off. It's pretty tight. But that gives you room to get to that filter, believe it or not. I mean, my hands are tore up a little bit because of the semi-sharp edges, but it saved me so much work from taking this whole fairing off. I would not ever want to do that. There's a lot of fasteners. Okay, so let me tighten that up. I'll be right back. Okay guys, so the oil filter is on and tight. Now it's time to fill the bike with new oil. The oil I've chosen is a partial synthetic made by Castrol called Activo. It has a 4T rating and it is MA2 compliant. So after 1,000 miles I plan on switching to full synthetic, but for this change I wanted to use partial. So it takes 3.2 US quarts or 3,200 in metric. I'm going to fill it up. Alright guys, so I have all the fairing back together, and now I'm going to clean up the headers. So I have some simple green cleaner. It's non-toxic, blah blah blah. Just going to spray it in there. Spray quite a bit. Let it work on all that oil that dropped inside there. Also some bugs on there. I'm going to hose it down. It'll be good. Then after that I'm going to start it and ride it down the block real fast just to circulate the oil. Then I'm going to come back and check the oil levels. Alright, so I drove around the block, got it warmed up, and now I'm back in the garage. And the last step is to make sure that the oil in the sight window is between the low and the full lines when the bike is straight up and down. So like you can see right now there's nothing in there, right? Because I have to add some more oil. Remember the filter takes some oil too, so you're probably close to almost 3 3/4 quarts with the filter. But I'm going to top it off now and get the oil right in the middle of that sight glass. And that's it. Job done. And actually I've learned something. I learned we don't have to take the full fairing off to do oil change. It's not easy, but it's doable. And that's great news. It saves some money. So that's it for today. If you liked the video, please click the like button, thumbs up. And as always, if you like my channel, please subscribe. In August, I'll be starting my ride-along motovlog series. So it won't matter what kind of bike you have, just ride along with me, and we'll go different places and just talk about what's going on in the world and with motorcycles. All right, so have a good day. See ya.
I was not ready to falling like I'm wasted. My heart broke.